7. Well, as you will know, any moment now, Jeb Bush is expected to take to the stage to formally announce he is running for US president in 2016. His rally in Miami is happening as we speak. If he wins the Republican nomination, Bush would likely face off against Democratic frontrunner Hillary Clinton, another Bush versus Clinton race for the White House. With me now is Auckland University politics and international relations lecturer, Dr Maria Armoudian. Maria, thank you very much for joining us this morning. Any surprises that Jeb is finally going to put his name on the ballot today?
Absolutely not. Everybody suspected this. His brother actually spilled the beans over a year ago. Everybody was watching while he was building this super PAC, which was sort of a way to bypass certain kinds of campaign laws and raise millions of dollars, which he did already.
Mm-hmm. And we should point out here that this is one of the reasons, because people say, well, for goodness sake, why haven't you announced before? This is one of the reasons it was essential to get that super PAC together before he actually announced.
Yes, absolutely. It's a way to bypass some of the campaign laws because super PACs, as you know, Paul, allow you to raise unlimited amounts of money and spend unlimited amounts of money. You just can't be identified directly with a candidate. So it's a little bit sneaky, and I don't think everybody loves that, but they will forget it.
They will. They will. In fact, they'll probably forget it in a few minutes' time as soon as he officially does announce. Now, he is not the only person. In fact, the Republicans have more people than you can shake a stick at that have officially declared as presidential candidates. So what I thought we might do before we talk about Jeb versus Hillary is look at some of the more high-profile ones. Rick Santorum back again. He doesn't stand a chance, does he?
I don't think so, although he did carry a number of states last time around, and he has some conservative credentials. He has served already in high levels of office. Very strong conservative. And remember that primaries usually bring out what we call the base. And so it tends to be people who are sort of hardcore ideologues. They're very ideological. So they like people like Rick Santorum. Now, some people have suggested that Jeb Bush is not conservative enough, but if you actually look at his record, and I think he will convince people that he is very strongly conservative. The only two issues he's not conservative on are immigration, partly because, as you mentioned, his wife, Columba, being Mexican-American, so he's pro-immigration reform. And the second issue is that he's not as hard right conservative on the environment. He has been known to protect a lot of the areas of Florida while he was governor.
Does he believe in global warming?
He does believe in it. He is a little bit equivocal about what to do about it.
Well, he's a Republican.
He is a Republican.
Okay. So, and this is the odd thing about the whole process, of course, because you've got to be absolutely Republican. You've got to be, you've got to really present your right-wing credentials. But then all of a sudden, once you've got it, if you get it, then you've got to appeal to a wider constituency.
I would say there's an exception to that when you look just at the last few elections, and that is Mitt Romney, because he was always sort of a middle-of-the-road guy, and he sort of tried to move to the right. But people knew, and yet he still became the front runner because...
Which was because people thought that was his Achilles heel.
Right. Yeah, there was that.
Okay, so we've got Santorum. We've talked about him. Yep. So you think probably not a chance, but he is in with a running, and certainly better than some of these other people whose names I've never heard. Now, Rand Paul, he is in with a chance, isn't he?
Oh, gosh, I don't know about if he really has a chance. He's a little bit very libertarian. I think he has a very solid core of supporters, but I don't know that he could move out somebody with a name like Jeb Bush.
You're writing him off. Marco Rubio.
Marco Rubio, also supported by Jeb Bush when the Senate campaign came up in Florida. Jeb Bush was talking about running for that. But he instead supported Marco Rubio. Rubio is charismatic.
Clever.
He's clever. He's a good speaker. He's got his own personal billionaire. But we'll see. He's a little bit wet behind the ears.
Okay. So would your money be on Jeb winning?
I would say mostly yes.
Okay. And you'd have to say in the Democrats your money would have to be on Hillary.
I would say. Now, let me just have a caveat on that, and that is who suspected at the beginning of 2008 that a black junior senator from Illinois who had barely served his time in the Senate was going to come and overtake everybody including people who are extraordinarily seasoned.
Okay.
So there is always that.
So you've got your caveat there, Maria. It's fair enough. We understand. We don't want to enter litigation after all. But at the end of the day, your money would be on a Hillary, on a Clinton-Bush fight-off for President of the United States of America.
I would say that if we don't have any major screw-ups on either of their parts, and if we don't have a candidate who comes up from behind and really just storms the primary, then yes. So there are so many factors that could happen. I mean, we're a year away. We're talking about this a year away from the election.
But we love it. I don't know why we love it so much. We'll get you back in again very soon because we love it so much. Yeah. It is horse race politics. You're right. Dr Maria Armoudian, Auckland University politics and international relations lecturer. Thank you so much for coming in.